Hi, I'm Willie, and today I'm going to show you a little bit about your Grandstream GRP2614 desk phone. I'm going to show you what the buttons do, I'm going to show you how to use it, and if you have additional questions once we go through this, you can always reach out and let me know. So this is the Grandstream GRP2614. It is one of the more popular Grandstream desk phones, and what we're going to do now is we're going to switch to a close-up view, and I'm going to show you the phone features, the buttons, and what they do. In this training, I'm going to use another desk phone that is not a GRP2614. It is my desk phone, and I just haven't replaced it yet. And I'm also going to use a soft phone that's on my cell phone so that we can bring calls into the phone, park calls, forward calls, and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch over to a view of just the phones, and we will start our training. Thank you. All right, so here is our GRP2614. Up here you can see I've got a blinking green light. That's your message waiting indicator. That means that we have a voicemail on this line, so we'll check that here in just a minute. Over here we have the name of the extension. You can see that that's scrolling there. Then to the right of that you can see an icon that indicates we've missed a call. The icon next to that, which is the little Bluetooth icon, means this phone does have Bluetooth. You can pair Bluetooth headsets to this. If you've got Apple AirPods, those will also pair to this phone. And then we have the clock to the right of that. Underneath that, we have this first key, which is our line. Now, we can technically have 4 different accounts on this, but typically we configure one, and you can have multiple calls where you may be used to seeing a line button somewhere on the phone for each of your calls. This phone is capable of taking multiple calls on a single line, so you won't see those line calls. The 2 buttons below that are our call park buttons, and right now you can see those are green. That means that no one is parked. And call park is a hold function of the system that actually allows you to put a call on hold and then go to another phone that has the call park buttons and pick that call up from anywhere instead of doing a transfer. And then right here we have a blank key. A lot of times we'll put a page all key in there or another call park. Down here we have history. So if we hit history, we're going to see who has called us. And right now it's on the all screen. To navigate the functions of your phone, you're going to use the up, down, left, right, and the enter keys. So we can go over to the Misc. You can see that this phone missed a call from Willie Howe. We haven't dialed anything, nothing answered, nothing transferred. So we can go back home. Now, if we go into that history, we can do a couple things. We can hit this dial button, and it's going to call that extension back. We can go in, we can delete a specific call, or we can delete all. Here, I'm going to go ahead and delete all. It's going to ask us to confirm, and we're going to say OK. Then down here, we just went over history. If we want to forward every phone call that comes into this phone, we can hit forward all. We can put in a 4-digit extension down here in our dial pad, or you can put in a 10-digit extension for an outside number. And once you would do that, I'll just put in 5,000 just as a example and hit OK. Now all of our phone calls are going to be transferred to this other phone, and we know that it's transferred because we have the cancel forward option here. So I'm going to hit that, and that is actually going to then cancel the call forwarding on the phone. Over here we have a voicemail button. So to check your voicemail, you would hit this button,
password,
and follow the system prompts.
You have 1 new message. Press 1 for new messages. Press 2 first. Message received at 11:51 a.m.
Hey there, Willie. I hope your phone training is going really well.
Press 3 for advanced options. Press 5 to repeat the current message. Press 7 to delete this message. Press 8 to forward the message deleted. Press 3 for advanced options.
The
Press
message
5.
is deleted. I can hit end call. And you should have a cheat sheet that shows you how to set up your voicemail. If your administrator has not provided that to you, ask your phone system administrator for that cheat sheet. This is a button that allows us to go to the LDAP directory or any other phone directories that your administrator has set up. The LDAP directory by default is going to show us all of the extensions that are on the phone system, and then we can dial right from there. So we don't have to memorize extensions. That's fax era stuff, right? Remembering those extensions. We can do a redial for the last number that we dialed right there. This is a button that will put your call on hold. And you can see that that icon right there is active. And what that means is if you ever see that, just know that this phone is receiving some sort of information from the phone system itself, whether your administrators may be changing the background, changing the order of the keys, changing who the extension is. When you see that, it means the device is getting information from the main system. Down here we have a transfer button, so you can transfer calls. This is the call conference button, and once again, your administrator for some of this stuff should have given you a cheat sheet on how to actually use these buttons. We have a headset key that allows us to toggle our headset. This will actually mute either your speakerphone or the mic that's in your handset. And if you're not in a call and you want do not disturb, you hit this button, and you can see now my screen says do not disturb, which will send all calls basically to my unavailable voicemail greeting. Your administrator at some point may ask you to get information from the phone if there's an issue or they're troubleshooting. So you would hit the enter key. That brings up the menu on the phone, and then they would tell you where to go. Here's a reboot option. There's a system option, contacts, all kinds of things. Status, they may ask you for the IP address. If they ever do ask you for the IP address of your phone, you can actually long hold this up button right here when you're on the main screen, and it will show you the IP address and the serial number and all that good stuff. So that's a nice little shortcut. And then over here is your volume control key. So while you're in a call or on speakerphone, you can lower the volume or make the volume louder. Here is the send key. So if you are dialing a phone number and you don't want to wait the 2 seconds for the system to dial, you can automatically hit that send key. And then this key will put us on speakerphone. You've got your dial pad here, and then this screen can be configured just like this screen, so it can have different buttons, but the most common use of this screen is to show the other phones in your office or in your group, or sometimes we'll put call queue buttons on here if you have a call queue. Sometimes the page all button goes down here, but right here you can see this is our most common configuration where we show other phones in the office and their status. Now this green light and this green icon means that this phone is available and is not being used. But if I pick this handset up and I call out, so if I were to call, let's see, I'm going to call a number. Then you'll see that this turns red, which means that that other phone is unavailable. I hung the call up, it became green. So if you want to talk to somebody, you don't even have to look them up. If they're down here, you can just hit the button and it's going to ring their phone. Or if you want to transfer calls to them, if you've got a call on and you're going to do a transfer, you can hit transfer and hit the person's name and it will transfer the call. Now, one of the other things that we are going to talk about is how to put a call on call park. So I have to switch views here real quick and get another phone going so that we can do the call park exercise. We'll be right back. All right, so we are going to simulate a call coming in to this phone. We're going to answer it. We're going to put it on call park, and then we're going to pick it up from the other phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial the extension. I'm actually going to mute this other phone. So we're going to answer it. And I'm going to mute the mic on the other phone. And we're going to try that again. All right, so we got our we got our call incoming, and I could either pick up the handset or I can hit the answer button. I can reject it or I can do a blind forward. I'm going to go ahead and hit answer. And now I have the person on the line, but they need somebody else who's at a different phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit call park. And now what I've done is that call is now parked, and you can see that it is red. You can see who it's from. So if it was an outside caller ID, it would have the outside caller ID phone number on there. But if I come over to my other phone, you can now see that this call park button is red. So if I want to take that call, I just hit that call park button, and now I am connected to that call, and then I can end the call right here. So that's how call park works. So if you have a page button on your phone and you've got a call park and they're looking for Bob, you could pick up the phone, page, hey Bob, you've got a call parked on call park 1. Bob's going to go to a phone, he's going to see that that call park is red, and he's going to be able to pick that call up directly. Now the next thing I want to talk about is forwarding a call. You've got a couple different options to forward a call to another extension, and you have an attended transfer and you have a blind transfer. And an attended transfer is when you go to transfer the call to this phone, you're going to call this person. They're actually going to pick up. You're going to talk to them first, and then you're going to hit the transfer button again, and then the call will be completed. A blind transfer just sends the call from this phone to here. So let's see if we can get these transfers working. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to answer the phone. And so now the call is connected. Now I could do a couple different things. I could conference it in, as you see here. I can hit my other options. I can do the call park, or I can do a transfer. So if I hit 1 here, I can do a transfer. And I've got blind transfer or attended transfer. So if I put in extension 5000 and I do a blind transfer, it's just going to go ahead and transfer that call directly to it, and you can see that now I am off the phone. So I'm actually going to reject that call, which is going to send that caller to voicemail. Now if we do an attended call, let me show you what that looks like. So we'll get our call back in here. So I'm going to answer the call, and I'm actually going to pick the hand setup this time, otherwise we're going to get that feedback loop. So I've got the call picked up, and I want to transfer it over to this phone, but I want to give this person a heads up. So I can hit the button, I can hit transfer. I could also hit my transfer button down here. And so that's the same thing. I can hit attended transfer, or put my extension in, hit attended transfer. Now it's going to come over here. I can answer it and say hello. And then what I can do is say, hey Willie, I'm going to transfer Richard to you. I've got him on the line. That's who you're going to have. And then I come over here and complete the transfer. So that is the difference between a blind transfer and an attended transfer. All right, so now I'm going to show you what just putting a call on hold looks like. So if I call this extension and it rings through, I answer it, and I put the call on hold, this is what you're going to see, and the person that's calling you is actually going to hear your on hold music. Now, if your administrator has not changed the on hold music, there is default on hold music. It sounds like you're standing in an elevator, but that's okay. Now, we can either resume this, or we can leave this person on hold and do a new call, or we can just hang up. I'm going to resume the call, and then I can end the call. Now, if I want to do a conference between the caller and these two phones, then what I am going to do is I'm going to have my call come in. So my call is going to come in. I'm going to answer it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit conference call. I'm going to dial the person that I want to be in the conference. Once this person answers, then I can hit conference, and now all three of us, you can see, are in a call together. So the person that called in and both these phones are now on a conference call together. One more thing I'll show you is the option to change your volume. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to call our other phone. We're going to answer the call. I'm going to pick this handset up. Now, whether you're on speakerphone or whether you have your handset picked up, if you hit the volume button, you can see up here on the screen that we are turning the volume up and down. Pretty cool, huh? The other thing that you can do on your phone, if your administrator has not changed the dial, the ringtone, is you should be able to go into your phone somewhere in the menu and change that. So we can scroll through all of our options here. So we've got preferences, so you can lock the keypad so it doesn't work. There's your do not disturb. Here's our sounds. And so here's our ringtone. And so we can scroll through these and
You have a call from.
And then that's one of the most popular ones right there. And then you can save that, and you can also change how loud your ringtone is. You can change energy saving control. Your admin has probably done that for you. Also, if your phones do not have a wallpaper, or if the leadership team at your organization wants a different wallpaper, your administrator can change this wallpaper. They can also change the screensaver that comes on the pictures that you see scroll through the phone. So if that's something you want, make sure you talk to your administrator about them changing those options on your phones. A couple of things to note. Anytime you see a red button, anytime something is not green, that means that the line is in use or that function is in use on the phone. Like when we saw this other phone was in use and it was red there when there's a call park and it's red. So just kind of keep that in mind. And anytime you want to hang up a call, so let's say that we'll call this extension back. This extension will answer. Anytime you want to end a call, either party will have that end call key. You'll also have your conference options. Just hit end call and the call is done. On your phone from the factory, and I don't have it on this phone, I do have it down here on the floor because I took it off. You may still have the plastic that covers the screen. Feel free to peel that off unless you've been given explicit instructions by your admin team to not do that. The little screen down here has it too. They put that in on the system to protect the screen from fingerprints and scratches, while the phones are being shipped around and things like that. You can see I've still got the plastic tab here, so this little screen has the plastic still on it. I'd like to thank you for hanging in there during the training of your GRP2614 handset. The really nice thing about Grandstream handsets is that whether it's a GRP2614, 13, 15, 16, name a GRP series phone, all of the buttons look the same, all of the functionality works the same. So once you know how to work a GRP2614 or even a 13 or a 15, you can use any of the Grandstream GRP26 series phones. That being said, Grandstream does have the GXP line of phones, and the really nice thing is they use the same icon set on all of the buttons across all of the phones. So once you know how to use one Grandstream handset, you can literally walk up to any other Grandstream handset and start using the phone right away. Now, if there was something that wasn't covered in this training that you need to know, please reach out to your administrator. They will reach out to us and we will provide that information. Your administrator should have provided you with a couple of PDF files. One is a shortcut sheet that shows you how to use all the buttons and the functions that we went over. And the other is a PDF that tells you how to change your voicemail options. If your administrator did not provide those to you, please reach out to them and they should provide that. If they don't have it for some reason, they'll reach back out to us and we'll make sure, to bring that full circle. So I hope you really enjoy these phones as much as we do, and we'll see you in the next training.